Okay, where do I start? Sunday early morning, I go to the Gale Webb Action Sports Park pump track, and I ride there with a whole bunch of cool friends. It starts getting warm. People start to leave. I go to the Elsinore skate park behind the storm called Summerly. Anyhow, ride there a little bit, nothing major, not too many people there. And I come home, Mindy's at work, and I don't want to sit around the house all day, so it's still early, and I know that there's a skate park in Fallbrook. So I go out to Fallbrook and get there, and there's literally nobody there. There's not one person. So I don't put my helmet on. I tell myself I'm just going to roll around. I'm just going to take it easy, nothing major. So I'm there for about 20 minutes by myself, and I'm not doing anything because I don't really know the park all that well, and there are some ledges that are straight drop-offs, which aren't fun, and there are some transitions where it goes nice and smooth on one side, and there's stair steps on the other. So didn't know which side is which, and so I'm taking my time. I'm trying to learn the area. Somebody shows up, rollerblader. He's putting his skates on. Took him like 15 minutes to put his skates on. I'm still rolling around, not doing anything major, don't have my helmet on, hanging out. Well, then he starts skating. Well, then I start riding a little bit more aggressive. And, but still nothing, no airs, no jumps, just rolling around. And then another guy shows up with his kid that is skateboarding, young kid. And so I do some fakies, some rollbacks, nothing major. But there's this like peanut bowl where it goes deep to shallow, or shallow to deep, depending on which way you're rolling in at. And I decide to roll in to the deep end. And as I roll in to the deep end, the transition going from the deep end to the small end is not that high. It's probably a 2-foot transition. And then the small end, the deep side is about 10 feet. And I'm going to say the shallow side is about 7. So a 3-foot difference. And it's just such a quick transition to the short or the shallow side that when I hit, I had all this speed coming into the deep bowl, a 10-foot bowl, coming across. And as I hit that transition, it took my bike away. It launched it backwards. And so I was a lawn dart going towards the face of the shallow side. And I'm not sure if the bars hit me in the stomach or when I landed up against the wall, the face wall, if I had put my hands out and punched myself in the stomach. But the stomach is bad. And then I hit my eye. The whole thing, I'm starting to bleed. I'm looking down. There's blood on the ground. The two people that were there at the park, they heard me slam up against the wall. And so they came over and asked if they could help. And I said, give me a second. I think I'll be able to do this on my own. And there's no rollout. There's no stair steps. There's nothing to get out of this swimming pool. It's like a peanut. There's the deep end and the shallow end. And as I get on my bike and make sure my bike is okay, I go to try to hang on to the left handlebar, which now I know why I couldn't hang on to it, because it's broken. Got a couple broken fingers, and there's a bone in here. It's not broken this way. It's broken this way. So anyhow, I tried to get back on my bike to ride it out, and that's not happening. So I asked the guy on the rollerblades, no less, hang onto my bike and I'll pull myself out. And he's on rollerblades. So he's hanging onto my bike and he's rolling in as I'm pulling up. And then the other guy sees that I need help and the rollerblader needs help. So he hangs onto the rollerblader and the bike, and I pull myself out, and it worked out. I go to my car. Now, my car is a 1997 Subaru WRX right-hand drive. So that means I got to shift with this hand, 5-speed. I get my bike put away. I get back in the car. I didn't knock myself out. I know I'm good. So I start driving home, and I'm just I'm not regretting. I'm just grateful that I was able to get out of the swimming pool without having to call 911 and do that. I'm trying to explain to people how if I didn't have my bike there, I would have to do the, American Ninja wall run up the wall to grab the coping and get out, which wasn't going to happen with that hand. Anyhow, driving home, shifting a couple times, get on the freeway, everything's good, and I'm praying that there's not going to be traffic, because then I'd have to shift a lot more. It'd be a pain in the ass. Anyhow, I get home, I park the WRX, I jump in my truck, I start to head over to the Kaiser in Menifee, which is up off the 215. And I call my wife, and she said, no, you might want to stop off. Since you're heading this way, just go straight to Loma Linda. So I went to Loma Linda. And I've got blood all over my face. I've got blood all over my shirt and my pants. And I walk into the waiting room of the emergency room, and there's a crap load of people everywhere. I mean, there's no place to sit. But I walk in, and I've got my hat on and my glasses, and I'm bloody. And they literally stop and go, okay, what's wrong with you? And I go, this. And my stomach doesn't feel so good. So they took me in right away. I guess that was the good thing to say in an ER, that if, something they can't see, they need to get, that right away. So they do a CT scan. The CT scan with the contrast. The contrast was kind of weird. What that does is it puts some fluid inside your body so that they can see the difference in between where the blood is and where your organs are and all this other stuff. So kind of cool, really nice. It was like wearing a warm blanket. Some people were saying it makes you want to feel like you got to pee, but it was just like a big warm blanket, but from the inside out. They do the CT scan. They say they see some fluid around the liver area and the spleen. So they think I might have lacerated the spleen. What else? So they kept me there for a little while. Observation. It was hard to breathe. It got harder to breathe as, my stomach felt like it was bloating and coming up, and I'm thinking that it's bruising from the inside out, and they decide to do a transport. So now they're transporting me from the Loma Linda Hospital to the Inland Valley Hospital. And Inland Valley, literally, I can see my house. I can see the back of my house from where I'm sitting here today. I can see it, and I'm almost home. I'm so close. But now they moved me over here to Inland Valley, and the Inland Valley staff has been great. The nurses, the doctors, everybody. They're trying to figure out what's wrong. For the first couple of days, Sunday, Monday, they were only addressing the stomach issue, the laceration, the internal stuff. They were making sure and taking blood samples and making sure the, I don't know what they're calling it. I'm not a doc. I don't know anything about that, but something inside the blood, if it doesn't, if it's got so many points compared to the last time they took the blood, that means it's bleeding somewhere inside. And if it stays stable, then I'm not bleeding inside. But for a couple days, they just worked on the stomach, the internal area, and I had still had a broken wrist and a couple broken fingers. I think one of the days they brought in these two clamps. Now, the fourth finger, this one, is broken somewhere inside there. I don't know where it's at. And the middle finger is actually a tendon broke loose. So when you break the tendon off, it has a tendency to bend down. I mean, at a straight position, it just bends down a little bit, from up there to down there. Anyhow, then Mindy, my wife, because she's a PA, wanted them to get another brace to put on so it would push that finger back up. And more likely than not, that if you do that, the tendon will re-adhere itself to the finger and everything will be fine. So now I've got the two finger braces on, and they're still looking at the stomach, but still have nothing on my wrist. Eventually, the stomach starts to subside, I guess, go down. I'm having less pain. I'm able to breathe better. They want me to breathe this unit thing, right? And what you're supposed to do is suck in, and this little deal here is supposed to go up. And they wanted to see max to 1,500, and now I'm up around the 3,000 mark. So I can breathe fine. I don't need the oxygen. And they had me on an IV drip, which made me want to pee all the time. And because I'm hooked up to all these cables behind me, I had to call the nurse every time I had to go to the bathroom. So it didn't make any sense. They wanted me to be up and walking around, but I can't because I'm still hooked up to all these machines. So today is Wednesday. Oh, and I missed HB Tuesday, and I thank you guys for doing this whole HB Eddie chant. It was cool. Thank you so much. I felt happy and sad at the same time. So.
Guys, our brother in BMX is in the hospital today. Eddie Fiola took a big dig. We want to cheer him on and get him back on his bike. So let's do it. Eddie! 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 Eddie!
Sweet the leg.
But today, when I got here, I hadn't eaten anything since Saturday night. I didn't eat anything Sunday morning. I went went to the bathroom. My morning, this might be a little too much information, but you drink some coffee, you go to the bathroom, you take off on your bike. I want to try to get out there when it's nice and cool and hang out with my friends. So Saturday night was the last time I ate. And then today, which is Wednesday, is the first day they let me have food. Most of the other time it was a no liquid diet, no food diet. They have me on the drip. Then they changed that to a clear liquid diet. So that means waters and coffee is clear, not colorless. They don't want you on colorless. They just want you on a clear. So I could eat, the cranberry juice, apple juice, coffee, no creamer, anything like that. So I am here now. Today, like I said, is Wednesday. Yesterday, they want to see. They want to see a bowel movement. They want to see if that has any blood in it. And I've been peeing, so there's no blood in that. But and then they gave me morphine, and they gave me some Oxycontin, and that's not really good for a bowel movement because it blocks you up. And I know this only because of past injuries. And now I have this injury in my stomach, and it's hard to push, and it's hard to get anything like that done. So yesterday, everything came out, no blood. They wanted to check and make sure it was good. So then they stuck me on a liquid diet, and then they said today that I could be on some type of food, but not clear liquids, but normal drink. I can have coffee with creamer and ice cream and whatever. And they gave me some cream of wheat. So other than that, it's just a waiting game now. So they want to, check it's a hemoglobin. That's what the word was. Hemoglobin's in the blood, and to make sure that I'm stable across the board. I feel fine, other than my wrist and, my stomach feeling like I got hit with a baseball bat by Mike Tyson. There's no bruising. There's nothing there. Everything's good. So I might be able to go home tomorrow. Just letting you guys know that I have read every social media prayers and wishes, and I appreciate everybody who sent me wishes and good healing and all that stuff. So thank you. I'll be out there riding again because I love to ride, and I don't have to get paid to ride because I love it. Not like some people in the world of BMX that the only reason they're there is for the money. Anyhow, we'll talk to you guys later. I'm going to try to edit all this stuff up and see if I can throw a picture of the swimming pool in there and the pump track and the Summerley skate park. These are some of the places that I live near. And again, Inland Valley Hospital, brand new. It's not new, but they put a whole new building in, and I'm in the new building. I'm on the 4th floor hanging out, and really clean. They got, pictures on the wall. Got all my bed, and I've got a chair and TV and the whole nine. So if you ever have to go to the hospital, this isn't a bad one to go to. All right, we'll talk to you guys.